Mahoraga, one of the 10 shadows that Megami has, the treasure that cannot be tamed, and also the one being that has been able to actually kill both Zenin clan members and Gojo clan members. This is the greatest and most powerful Shikigami that has roamed the earth. Mahoraga is nothing that you can smirk at. This is something that has been a problem since the beginning of time for anyone that had the treasure of the 10 shadow technique. This is a special family technique come from the Zenin clan, and we are going to dive into exactly what is Mahoraga, what is the history of Mahoraga, and what is Mahoraga going to be able to do later in the future. Usu! What's up guys, my name is Jigsaw here. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into what Mahoraga is capable and able to do in Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, when speaking about Mahoraga, he is definitely one of the most powerful individuals within Jujutsu Kaisen. This uncontrollable Shikigami in the history of 10 shadow technique has never been tamed. What does that mean? As you know, Megami has said he has to tame some of his Shikigamis to be able to actually fight with them and control them at will. So he is first given the divine dogs, and later on we are told that he had to tame the elephant and along with the other creatures that he had. So pretty much we know when you start with the 10 shadow technique, you have to be able to tame some of the animals so then you can use them at will. But for some reason, Mahoraga is very difficult to tame. And because of that reason, we actually see Mahoraga only in the light of suicide. Yes, I said it. We only see Mahoraga if someone is trying to commit suicide and cannot defeat the other opponent. So just exactly how did Mahoraga kill any of the Gojo family members? So if you remember, there was a fight Gojo was talking about to Megami, talking about the Zenin clan member with the 10 shadows and someone from the Gojo family with the 6 eyes and the limitless. These two were fighting with each other, and in the midst of fighting with each other, it seemed like it was evenly matched. Obviously, it doesn't mean that Megami is going to be the reaching Gojo standard, but he has the potential. Not only that, you have to remember when Megami actually used Mahoraga for the first time, even though so many times within Jujutsu Kaisen he threatened to bring it out but he never actually did. He even tried to use it against Ayuri Todo, I have no idea why. We know that he has to say a sacred chant. I believe it becomes more powerful the more he explains to the individual, which is what he did against Shinjo when he had to use it. And that would be, with this treasure, I summon 8-handled sword divergent Scylla, divine general Mahoraga, and then you see all the dogs howl for him, showing that this, the almighty Mahoraga, is now here. In history, not one user of the 10 shadows technique was able to exercise this beast. And in the process, when Megami did summon Mahoraga, the first thing Mahoraga does is kill Megami with one hit. Now, we go on and actually see Haruta is very confused and pretty much about to get killed and was just barely saved by Sukuna. Now, at this time, why Mahoraga wasn't able to actually become Megami's controlled Shikigamis is because Sukuna, who's outside of the ritual, was able to exercise the curse. So that actually means Mahoraga would have been able to be used if Sukuna was involved with it. In the process, it wasn't. So Mahoraga unfortunately is still untamable. Now, Mahoraga actually lost to Sukuna, but what we did see from him is very interesting things. We see that Mahoraga is able to use positive cursed energy outputs to be able to destroy cursed spirits and opponents in front of him. The reason I said destroy cursed spirits is because it's mostly effective against them. Because they're made up of negative energy, negative cursed energy, they would be imbued with positive energy, absolutely destroying them in perhaps one hit. They are really weak against positive energy. And what specifically is that? Is basically from the Sword of Extermination. That is the sword that Mahoraga holds that envelopes their positive energy, similar to reverse cursed energy. And every time the rings shake in his back, he's actually able to cause healing properties towards himself, which is very impressive. In fact, for Mahoraga, that's not all. What else he's able to do is have amazing adaptability, like to the point where is almost adaptable before the attack is even out. They're able to see, and he even said himself, he was able to react to slash, which Sukuna was very impressed about. Now, not only that, this is probably the first time we see Sukuna even on the back foot a little bit. I think Sukuna at the end of the day was toying with him, but he was actually able to send Mahoraga flying, as well as Mahoraga sending him flying one time. Even Sukuna said it's not that bad. Because what Mahoraga actually did, it realized Sukuna was not a cursed spirit, so it changed, instead of using the positive energy, to use cursed energy to actually affect Sukuna in this case. And then that's why it sent him flying. So let's actually look at it outside of his abilities for now. Let's actually look at what Mahoraga is and its history. We can see that Mahoraga actually is somebody that, you know, as Sukuna said, is similar to Yamato no Orochi, is pretty much a dragon and a serpent, but they have 8 heads and 8 tails. Now, as you guys know, if you are caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen as the manga, Sukuna actually has the ability to make it look similar to that, just off the simple fact that he is an increased version of Megami. Now, as we saw with Nue, as we saw with the Divine Dogs, Sukuna was able to call multiple Divine Dogs even though there's only 2 originally with Megami. He was also able to make Nue bigger. And now we get to see what he can do with Mahoraga, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mahoraga's whole appearance changes. Yes, it's something that's not tameable, but it's still within his Shikigami, making him even stronger. It's either Mahoraga is going to get much more huge, which is going to be like a building or something of a sort, because it's already huge, or we are going to end up seeing Mahoraga become one of the 8 heads or serpents that exist, similar to Yamato no Orochi. That is a very interesting point, and I think that Sukuna is going to evolve Mahoraga to the point where it will actually live up to the legends that exists. Would that mean that it might be able to get more power in terms of more accessibility to power, since it's a dragon and a snake? Perhaps. Or maybe instead of actually adapting to you, he's actually able to see ahead of what you're gonna do, basically implying that he knows what's gonna happen. He just needs to have the reaction and speed to deal with it, instead of having to adapt and react to it. Now, let's actually remember, Sukuna is fighting against Mahoraga also, but don't you guys think it's going to be a bit more difficult for Sukuna? Because now the dismantle and cleave that he originally had is going to be adapted by Mahoraga, because he has memories of being exercised by someone with that same ability. Another example would be that he could actually use 10 Shadow technique to throw Mahoraga off a bit, so then he's able to tame him fully, and then that would be much more of a problem. I'm not gonna lie, if they end up fighting Mahoraga by themselves, there's basically no way the characters that we have in Jujutsu Kaisen would win. I'm just keeping it real. Unless it's against someone like Yuto Kotsu, who's able to use multiple curse techniques. Yeah. So this beast that actually encompasses all phenomena and adaptability towards them phenomena is single-handedly one of the most toughest characters you can fight in Jujutsu Kaisen. Not only is he very durable, but if you've attacked him with something and you call him off guard, he's actually able to regenerate himself and adapt to those injuries that you caused him before, because his body is used to the injuries that you gave him, meaning he knows how to actually attack it. An example of that is if you got attacked with, let's say, a virus or something like that, or bacteria, your white blood cells will actually have memory of how to, get that away. So next time it happens, it will become much faster and faster of taking away that disease or virus or, illness or whatever it is, instead of how it was originally when you first got hit with it. That's pretty much how Mahoraga works. Now, what does that mean? It means later on, when he starts healing and start using the abilities against Yoruzu, who we know in the manga is who he's about to fight, we know that Sukuna is going to actually bring out the Mahoraga that we all fear. The Mahoraga that has been unbeaten but at its true potential. This is a scary sight. Anyway guys, thank you for watching my video. Make sure you look at the videos on the screen, and I'm sure you'll find some of them that you like and I think you would enjoy. Now, as I say to the new and old people, come and visit my channel. Jana.